بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. The Quran Pak is called Maw'idha. It is an admonishment. Every ayah, every verse is advice. It is an admonishment. It is a lesson for those who have the ears to hear and the heart to take effect. Like when a person reads Quran, he makes a niyyah that I need to take lesson from this Quran. Like we did previously, Al-Furqan. There's even du'as. Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqa warzuqna ittiba'a. Ya Allah, show me the truth. Don't let me be blind for the truth. And let me have the tawfiq and the opportunity to follow. So sometimes we see the truth, but it doesn't change our life. We see the world wars in front of us. We see people dying in front of us. We hear all the time of the turmoil in other countries being wiped out, but we don't change our lives. وَأَرِنَا الْبَاطِلَ بَاطِلًا وَارْزُقْنَا اجْتِنَابَهُ. And show us what is falsehood and let us follow it. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to follow haq and abstain from batil. وَارْزُقْنَا اجْتِنَابَهُ. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to abstain, to go far away from this evil. So Quran is a means of hidayat. It is a book of guidance. It is a maw'idha. It is a lesson. It is an advice. As was said beautifully, follow the doctor's daily free dose to achieve firdaus. Follow the doctor, yani Allah, daily free dose, Quran. Follow the kalam of Allah and you will achieve Jannatul Firdaus. So we need to check ourselves whether we got the kayfiyat and the sifat of itaat. Maulana Yusuf used to say something interesting. He say, log sunte nahi. Log sunte nahi. They don't have the ambition to listen to bayan. They don't have the ambition to take benefit. So they're not even found that the places of bayanat are empty. So log sunte nahi. Jo sunte hai wo samajhte nahi. And those that are listening, they don't understand, they don't comprehend what the speaker is trying to put forward. Then what grief he said, Jo sunte hai aur samajhte wo mante nahi. They are those people that listen, they go to the bayans, they understand what has been said, but they don't practice on what has been said. Then again with grief he said, Jo sunte samajhte mante wo jamte nahi. So the last category is people who listen, they understand, they practice, but then after a week or two their lives come back to normal how it was. They don't take lesson and change their lives. So it should not be also that we making the same mistakes all the time. We go in the avenues of evil and ma'asiyat all the time. If a person sees Ramadan, it shouldn't be he changes for Ramadan and after Ramadan his life is back to normal. A person goes for Hajj. In there he's a Haji, but when he comes back, his life is back to normal. Person goes out in Jama'at, sits in the company of a Sheikh, and when they return back, their life is back to normal. So how much was and lesson have we taken from the Quran? That is the question we need to see. We shouldn't fall in the same hole twice. We don't realize how much darkness we are in. It's always easy to point fingers at everybody else, but a person must check, how much am I into it? They say a tourist came to a top hotel in London, in an upmarket hotel. So one morning he asked for room service and he said, I want 3 overdone fried eggs that are hard as a rock, toast that is burnt as cinder, and a cup of black coffee that tastes like mud. So the room service attendant said, I'm sorry sir, we don't serve breakfast like that. So he said, well you did yesterday. So sometimes we don't realize we are at mistake, we are at fault, the flaws lies with us. The Quran has its effect. The words of Allah are powerful. The problem is our hearing powerful enough to take effect? Is our hearts powerful enough to take effect? So Shaitan will convince a person that you're doing good, but actually we're on another page. We read Quran, but how much Quran are we reading with tajweed? So Shaitan will come, you should not stop reading Quran, but while we're making this tilawat and we realize I'm not reading Quran with tajweed, then I need to go to the Qurra, to the people who are experts in tajweed, in qira'ah, and learn Quran with tajweed. While Abrarul Haq rahmatullahi used to say, people read Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. He said, that's not Quran. You're not reading Quran. It's not Alhamdu, it's Alhamdu. What a ha. So different alphabets of the Quran needs to be pronounced properly. So we think so we are doing good and we're in the right direction, but actually we have fallen ploy to the planning of Shaitan and Iblis. They say there was a newly married couple that went to an upmarket hotel, and the bride was worried that maybe it is bugged. So she asked the husband to search the room thoroughly. So he also had this concern. So he looked behind the curtains, he looked behind the closets, he went into the bathroom, into the wardrobes, and eventually he came to the rug. And beneath the rug he found a mysterious disc with 4 screws. So he had his Swiss knife there, he undid the screws and threw the disc out of the window, and he said, I found it, and I've sorted it out. So bride was happy, later they were happy, and they were a honeymoon couple. So the following morning as they checked out, the hotel manager asked him that, how was your room, how was the service, how was your stay at our hotel? So the groom said, why so many questions, why so many questions? So the manager said, well, the room under you complained that the chandelier fell on them. The room under your room apartment complained that the chandelier fell on them. So sometimes you think so you're doing something positive and proactive, but we're causing our own nuksan, our own harm. So Quran is maw'idha, make a niyyah that I need to take wa'adh from this Quran. That's why ulama explain that there is an effect, such powerful effect on the Quran, that even the jamadat which do not have the perception of hearing, seeing, thinking, intelligence, they take effect. The non-living entities, inanimate entities. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل, if it was revealed on a mountain, لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله, out of the fear of Allah, you would see the mountain shuddering, trembling, shaking. This is an effect on a mountain which is deaf, which is not have shu'ur. Then what would happen to insan, in this human being who has all these perceptions? فَجَعَلْنَاهَا نَكَالًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهَا وَمَا خَلْفَهَا وَمَوْعِظَةً لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Maw'idha, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about it. We've made it an example to their own people, to the people around them that witness it, and to the succeeding generations, and an admonition. Imam Sheikh Fakhruddin Razi rahimahullah mentioned under this ayah that أن من عرف الأمر الذي نزل بهم يتعظ به, that a person who sees the conditions that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishment came to them, he will take lesson, ويخاف, and he will have fear that this should not happen to me. وَإِن لَمْ يَنْزِلْ عَاجِلًا فَلَا بُدَّ مِنْ أَنْ يَخَافْ مِنَ الْإِلْقَابِ الْآجِلِ. That this adhab I was saved. I've seen so much conditions on earth in different halat, it hasn't happened to me, but in the future I don't want it to happen to me. So maw'idah. So whether it's the previous nations, whether it's the current conditions on earth, it is a maw'idah. Every occurrence is a maw'idah. Imam Tabri has mentioned also, فَجَعَلَ تَعَالَى ذِكْرَهُ مَا حَلَّ بِالَّذِينَ اعْتَدَوْا فِي السَّبْتِ مِنْ عُقُوبَتِهِ وَمَوْعِظَةٍ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ خَاصَّةً وَإِبْرَةً لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ دُونَ الْكَافِرِينَ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. That what had occurred here, due to them finding ways to bypass the system of Allah, is more of a lesson for the people of Iman than the kuffar. Because the book of Allah is mostly read by the people of Iman. So it's a lesson for them till Qiyamah. And with regards to this ayah, Abdullah ibn Abbas is mentioned, وَمَوْعِظَةً لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. It is not that era and that people that witnessed that at that time should take lesson, no. But after that as well, a person will take lesson. The riwayat of Abu Hurairah, لَا تَرْتَكِبُوا مَرْتَكَبَتِ الْيَهُودِ. Do not commit what the Jews committed. فَتَسْتَحِلُّ مَحَارِمَ اللَّهِ بِأَدْنَى الْحِيَلِ. Because they breach what Allah had forbidden by resorting to the lowest type of deception. So do not take lesson from this and do not perpetrate what they had said. Likewise, other ayat explaining this mau'idha. هَذَا بَيَانٌ لِلنَّاسِ وَهُدَوْ وَمَوْعِظَةً لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is a clear statement for humanity and a guidance and an admonition. Sheikh Saady rahimullah under this ayah mentions هذا بيان للناس أي دلالة ظاهرة. This is a clear proof, تبيان للناس, and it is identifying the difference بين الحق والباطل, between truth and falsehood. ومن أهل السعادة من أهل الشقاوة, from the fortunate to the unfortunate. If you take lesson, you are the fortunate. If you don't take lesson, you are the unfortunate. If you take lesson, you are from the people of Haq. If you don't take lesson, you are from the people of Batil. وَهُوَ الْإِشَارَةُ إِلَى مَا أَوْقَعَ اللَّهُ بِالْمُكَذِّبِينَ. And this is a lesson that when you contravene the awamir of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what's the consequences? So this is a great lesson. And these lessons are so that this nafs becomes overpowered, shaitan becomes overpowered. Quran is a guidance, it's a map, it's a plan, it's a detailed strategy, so that the shaitan in nafs does not destroy us. Hakimul Ummat used to mention that there was no other shaitan that led shaitan astray. We still say the shaitan in nafs. Here there was no shaitan, but his nafs led him astray and turned him into Iblis. So Hakimul Ummat used to say, overpowering the nafs, this is a priority. Even overpowering the kuffar is not as a priority. And striving against the nafs is called jihad akbar. This is the greatest jihad, to overpower the nafs so that we can abstain from guna and obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, this nafs, the shaitan also will trap a person where he will do things and he will be doing it for show. So this is a trick. Ramadan comes, we making khatams so we can tell people how many khatams we made. I did so many umrahs. Bring the zamzam from my 5th hajj. One statement wiped out all our rewards for hajj. So the amal you should carry on even if there's no ikhlas. Masjid is full, you want to read nawafil, hey, people will say he's a buzruk, so you stop. No, shaitan has overpowered you. Why? Because you stop in for shaitan. Carry on with pride, but now just change your intention, correct your intention. And that's what Mali Lashmal used to say, that when anybody does good deeds, then shaitan opposes him by putting different obstacles, and the greatest obstacle which he will do is contaminating the intention. Then a person does it for show, he does it for fame, and he creates other motives behind the amal. So we shouldn't get caught. وَمَوْعِظَةٌ, the kalam of Allah, it's a maw'idah. How much wa'adh, how much lesson am I taking from the kalam of Allah? Khalid ibn Hassan says that Hasan Basri was one day invited and he was our guest and he was fasting. So at the time of iftar, I brought some food for him to break his fast, and this verse came in front of him: Inna ladayna ankalan wa jahiman wa ta'aman dha ghussati wa adhaban alima. We have handcuffs, we've got the blazing fire, we've got the food that gets stuck in the throat, and a painful punishment. As this ayah came to his mind, he said, take the food away. Just one ayah, and he's breaking fast. The next night again, he said, I brought the food to him, and again, that ayah came to his mind, and he said, remove it. The same thing happened on the third night. So his son then went to Hazrat Thabit al-Bunani and Yahya al-Buka and Yazid al-Dhahabi and told them what had happened. So they came to intercede that the Sheikh, Ya Sheikh, please eat something. So eventually, after their insistence, he finally agreed and he asked for a little bit ground flour. So that's the power of the Quran. When we have the heart to take effect, then one ayah of the Quran will make a person lose his appetite. It will make a person lose the desire to sleep as well. And no matter what nature a person, it will even govern a person's nature and control a person. A person will be governed by Quran and Hadith. He will not want to govern Quran and Hadith. Unfortunately, nowadays we dictate what Islam and Deen is, and we've modernized Deen, and we've catered Deen to our needs. We've found muftis that will pass fatwas according to our desires. We found hilas and loopholes. We've justified our wrongs. So whereas Quran and Hadith should govern our lives. You say Zainul Aabideen once was making wudu and his slave girl was pouring water. So the jug slipped from her hands and caused an injury to him. So he looked very, very, very angry and upset. And he was going to take some retaliation. And immediately when she seen that, she started reciting Quran. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given the slave girls of those era even fiqh and the understanding of Quran, what today even the scholars don't have understanding. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ, those who control their anger. Immediately said, my anger is under control. Then she recited the next ayah, the following after that ayah, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ, those who forgive people. So he said, you are forgiven. وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who do good. He said, go, I set you free for the pleasure of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. I set you free. So they were governed. Imagine a person who's angry and who's ready to retaliate and take revenge. Such kafiyat and such condition had overwhelmed him that at that point in time he was not even taking retaliation. He not even forgave her, but he set her free. So that's the power of the Quran. These are one ayah which has changed people's lives and caused this kafiyat. How much Quran have we read and taken effect? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the reality of Quran. The amal for today is the virtue of the muadhin and the desire to give adhan. Yadur Rahman fawqa ra'sil muadhin. Riwayat of Tabrani. The hand of Rahman is on the head of the muadhin. وَإِنَّهُ لَا يُغْفَرُ لَهُ مَدَّ صَوْتِهِ أَيْنَ بَلَغَ. He is forgiven as far as his voice reaches. لو يعلم الناس ما في النداء والصف الأول. People knew the virtue of the adhan in Saf Awwal. ثم لم يجدوا إِلَّا أَن يَسْتَهِمُوا عَلَيْهِ لَاسْتَهَمُوا. If they had no alternative but to draw lots, they would have fought and fought until they decided, let's draw lots and give the adhan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq of making amal, valuing the Quran, valuing the moments which Allah gives us to draw this hidayah. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.